Gentlemen, good to see you both. Welcome to Pop Turnative. Welcome back to Pop Turnative, both of you.
Great to be back.
This movie is so good. Congratulations. I can't wait for people to see it. Maxwell, I want to know because, the horror movie genre, thriller genre, it's always been around. There seems to be a big kind of surge in popularity and innovation with this genre. So I'm just curious for you, what's it like working in this genre at a time where there is a big appetite for this stuff specifically?
Yeah, I'm really grateful that this kind of genre is really hitting big right now. I love science fiction, which is a very close cousin of horror, and I think that it's one of those things that I never really think about when I go into a project. I never think like, oh, is this movie going to be a hit? Is there the market for this? That's just not something I think about. But I think it does help that a lot of people are thinking about horror right now. And I think what we do really well is we take a lot of elements from other horror films and from some really great stories, but we bridge it with not just solely relying on horror for the sake of horror, not just trying to scare people, but the human element to this project and the coming of age and the growing up, and that's all a vehicle for horror.
That's a really good kind of segue to what I was going to ask you, Jaeden, because it's interesting because you look at, the It films in a lot of ways were kind of the start of that surge I was talking about. There was that kind of time where those movies were getting really popular. And since then, there's been a lot of growth and change with the genre. So I'm just wondering, what's that like for you from an acting storyteller perspective, navigating that world, seeing that kind of growth of the genre from like then to now? I'm just curious about that.
I mean, that's the thing with art. It's always, especially with a vessel like horror film, you always got to figure out how to communicate and in a new way, in a new form. Like with horror, you can't just do the same thing that you've seen a million times.
Yeah.
Especially in horror, because it's so seemingly so easy to rely on things like jump scares or a fake jump scare, and then the real jump scare. Like there's all these tools that you can use. So with horror, it's all about breaking the genre. I feel like that's what I want to be a part of. And I think this does it very well in a way where it's about it's not even that scary. I'll say, it's tough to keep calling it a horror film. I know people want to I know
there might or might not have been some jump scares that scared the heck out of me in this movie.
There's some stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think you're swerving. You're trying to swerve the audience here, maybe.
No, yeah, maybe I'm gonna take you guys out. No, but really, it's about a family, and it's about the brotherly love and your father looking out for them and also letting them go. It's coming of age. It's all these things.
You guys are pros because it's like what questions I'm going to ask next because your answers are perfect segues to my next question. Because Maxwell, my question is, there's this kind of ping pong match throughout the film with your character, with his relationship with his brother, where it's like, is he just like, does he care about his brother? Does he not care about his brother? And I just find that very interesting because it's like a ping pong match a little bit. And I'm wondering what's that like, seeing that in the script, but then going and filming it, because a lot changes when you go to camera. So I'm just wondering for you seeing that dynamic, because I find that really interesting. One of my favorite things about this film.
Yeah, I thank you.
Yeah.
I think that love for my brother is a constant throughout the whole thing. At least from when I was approaching it, I never wanted it to seem like I hated my brother. I never wanted it to seem like I didn't care what happened to him in this scary world. I think that where our key differences were how we want to exist in this world. It was of ideologies, and it boils down to Thomas is this really impulsive, deeply emotional person, and up until the point of I don't want to spoil anything. Up until a certain part of the movie where Thomas makes a certain mistake, I don't think Thomas has ever really thought through with his brain. He's always thought through with his heart. And I think that's a really admirable thing about Thomas. And I really appreciate that about him. But I think that's what makes him kind of this caged animal, kind of this figure who wants to grow out and come of age in this world that doesn't allow him to come of age in the way that he wants. Maybe there's a certain jealousy of Joseph that maybe Thomas wishes he could learn about the world through observation and through, autopsying a caught creature, but he just can't. He needs to be out and feel the world. So I think that's really where the strain came in this relationship. It was always leading up to it. It's just it finally, with the advent of Thomas's newfound love and he's finally found this new civilization that he wants to learn about, it really kind of pulled them apart for a moment. But I think that's what brought them back. What brings them back together is the fact that they have to be together in this world.
I left it open-ended whether you love your brother or not in this movie, because I don't want to give spoilers away.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, but yes, no.
No, 100%. No, you answered that perfectly. Before we wrap up, very quickly, kind of to add to that, Jaeden, your character has a lot of this strategic kind of thinking about how he's going to live with the cards he's been dealt, with everything going on with these creatures. And I just wanted to know quickly, what was that like kind of working with Nick Cage in regards to that dialogue of all the father-son dialogue with you and Nick Cage is very strategic about how you're going to kind of get out of this situation. So what's that like for you very quickly?
I mean, yeah, totally. My character Joseph, he's a very logical kid, and he's also, I think, like you said, jealousy towards Joseph. I think he feels the same thing. I feel like he would rather be out there in the world and only in love. But he's kind of he's sort of this righteous character. I think just very logical. It's very much about how do we keep the family together? How do we keep each other safe? And then working with Nick, I think what was nice too, a lot of it was when it was the two brothers together, they're battling over that, and their personalities really come out. But when it was just Joseph and Nick and his dad, there were these very tender moments where he kind of showed a vulnerable side and kind of self-deprecating, and he showed that he needed love from his dad, and those scenes were really fun in the film.
Arcadian's going to be in theaters April 12th. People have to check it out. I love this film. Thank you so much for your time, both of you. So great chatting with you again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.